I want to touch on Magic a little bit here. And
Yeah.
Mason, I want to get your thoughts because you're probably more of a Magic guy than any of us. But these
Which is not
price
saying much, but
the,
yes, I
these
know a little bit.
prices have been like flat for the last 5 years. I think vintage Magic, like a beta box at 237, the Antiquities box. I mean, I think this one was around 225, 250, so it hasn't really done anything in again 5 years. But Magic just seems flat. I don't know if that's an opportunity or if we're just there. We're just like at the ceiling.
Yeah, it's funny to see, two games that were being produced at the same time at Wizards of the Coast, basically, or at least in the same era. Earlier, these were before Pokemon, because I was 93 with that Arabian Nights box. So, like, older than Pokemon stuff, and it's Pokemon is eclipsing it. I mean, it's just, it is interesting to see, for sure.
Is that high for a Lotus or low for a Lotus?
For an Alpha Lotus and an 8, again, Magic is a Beckett, preferred grader. But that's low.
It seems low to me. Yeah, that's
very low. It feels low.
The thing I think about, because Magic has about 5 years on Pokemon, but Magic was also targeted to an older demographic, right? The dark fantasy, all of that. So you start to think about the buyer pool and how buyer pools age up financially. That buyer pool that was into vintage Magic are probably in their, average 40s at this point, a good chunk of them. Whereas Pokemon, a lot of them are more coming into their high earning years now. And so you start to get to the point where, like, you're in your 30s, maybe you're just having kids or haven't had kids yet, you got disposable income, maybe you're dinks, whatever, and you're out there spending money. When you're in your 40s, life starts to look a little different, right? You're probably 2 or beyond, around the halfway point. You're starting to look at, like, how do I want to use my money long term, different things like that.
Bad timing when my birthday's coming up, big dog. Chill out.
Maybe Magic just isn't as high of a priority. It's interesting. I look at this because I think about it, and when I think of Magic and vintage buyers, I think that they're generally about 10 years older than Pokemon. Like, that's just mentally, I have no data to back that up, but that's just how I've always thought about it. And I want to say this. If we start to see, you said it's flat. If it stays flat or starts to decline, is Magic a window into what Pokemon could be?
Exactly what I was going to say.
10 years later.
Because it's
always been Pokemon's acquisition funnel keep it going. It's hard to know.
We've always treated it that way, I feel like. I mean, I have, at least. I mean, years ago, especially, it was, what's Big Brother Magic doing? I would compare high-end Pokemon to high-end Magic to see the trajectory. Is this the window into what we have in store for Pokemon? At least vintage Pokemon, right?
I don't know. Pokemon has already closed the gap so much on vintage Magic. I just don't even think it's...
Well, they're chasing sports now.
So much more broader appeal than Magic, I think.
Well, but it's a really interesting point, Mason, because vintage Magic for the longest time was the peak of TCG. Then Pokemon did catch it. And for the longest time, it was, could Pokemon catch it? Would it ever catch it? Then Charizard did. Then we saw some of the trophies do it. Illustrator did it, etc. Now tons of things had it. The average Pokemon card is more expensive than the average Magic card just across the board. Is that because vintage just peaked? Is it because Pokemon exploded and has a wider base? Is it a combination of both? And, we have to ask those questions, because if we can if Pokemon ends up following the same trajectory, is there going to be a threshold where Pokemon peaks? And then that's it, right? I think everyone.
And we're talking vintage. We're talking vintage Pokemon too.
Vintage, I think. And we've already, other than First Ed Charizard, a lot of vintage stuff, like pre-EX era, hasn't really had a massive run in this boom, right? A lot of the old First Ed stuff, a lot of the Shadowless stuff from base, a lot of those things that people thought would run up haven't had their big catastrophic growth like what they had during COVID.
Right.
And a lot of people are asking why. Well, why is it that you're seeing Infinity Stones go for $35,000 to $60,000 in Magic, which are now starting to rival Alpha Lotuses? Right?
Is that much now? I thought those were $10,000 cards. Those are 30,000 now. Those Infinity Stones?
I'm pretty sure there were like multiple like $30,000+ sales of Infinity Stones. And so like that's the issue, is that like, is it interest is shifting? And interest says, I don't really care about the old stuff as much as I care about the new current relevant stuff.
It's just sad, man.
That shift happened in Pokemon, right? We see all the time.
Like, I'm not a big Magic guy. I love it, but like I'm not collecting Magic like crazy. But like it's the grandfather of TCG. It's what started it, and the Lotus is it.
The Alpha Lotus is like
do you care?
I care.
Okay, but let me ask you this. So one of the things I own is a first print, first impression. It's a paperback of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, because I love Harry Potter. Grew up with it.
Incredible.
I don't care to go buy some of the first books because they were the grandfather books of printing. I don't need a Gutenberg.
That's not the same.
You say it's not, but it is. It's collecting of a niche. It's a book collector versus a TCG collector.
I don't.
That Harry Potter book is not bound by the same creator that created the first books. Wizards is the company that was printing the stuff.
Yeah, Jesus Christ and the 12 disciples did not write Harry Potter. They wrote the Bible.
Yeah, I guess for me, I like to try to use vintage Magic to see what could happen with vintage Pokemon, modern Magic with modern Pokemon, and I know they're not one-to-one comparables, but it is an interesting level off that we've seen here. And I do believe someday we're going to see a level off with Pokemon. I think we're going to see segments that just kind of hit a peak and they don't hit a peak again. I think it's irrational to think something goes up forever. I do.
Oh,
and so
fair.
I just, I start to think about those 10-year gaps. Like,
Pokemon's got 10 years, guys. Squeak said it here.
Yeah, you heard it here first. It's all over in 10.
Yeah. I just think it's sad that a Snap Squirtle in a 6 is more expensive than the most coveted Magic card ever created.
Okay, well, to be fair, there's supposed to be 15 or 20 Squirtles. I forget which is which, and there's 1,100. Not a million. No, there's 1,100.
There's definitely not a million Lotuses.
There's 1,100 that were printed or supposedly printed. So many got destroyed. So many are gone. There's probably half. So yeah, you're dealing with different numbers here.
A magnitude of scale larger for.
But it is an interesting, thought-provoking topic. I would love for you guys out there. Tell us, what do you think? Do you guys think vintage Magic is just in a stable period but going to run later? Do you think that this is kind of the peak of vintage Magic? Do you think Pokemon could end up going through this cycle in our lifetimes? I think there's a lot of people, if you were to poll them, would say it won't happen in our lifetimes. That Pokemon will go through these ebb and flows, but the trajectory will be up throughout our whole lives.
I mean, yeah, as a whole, probably, but taking the niche vintage side of things, probably not, because you get it wanes.
Like the over the glasses.
The new generation is in the Pokemon, right? I mean, Moonbreon to the moon when, in 25 years when those kids have money. So this was shocking here.
The Alpha Lotus is not the niche, by the way. It is literally the Magic card. Yeah, and we haven't seen Charizard in an 8 yet beat this. So
So it's still like the PSA 10 Alpha Lotus, I think, is over $1 million. Like a CGC Pristine 10 sold for $3 million privately. So Magic's still like the king of Magic, still being the king of Pokemon. So Pokemon hasn't gotten
the CGC gap on a Alpha Lotus is apparently really, really high.
Listen, if I had an Alpha Lotus, I'd grade it with CGC. Let me tell you,
like 5% there.
I mean, it's so hard to get a 10. I don't think they really deserve 10s, but the grading scale is different when you're looking at these cards because of quality.
Well, and CGC takes into account the alpha corners and everything like that, where so that also plays a part as well.
Okay, Japanese base box, please. 75 Bandinis. What?
Nice. That's crazy.
That's high, dude. That's over 1,000.
That's the power of sealed, man. That's power of sealed.
That's
what is? I bought two of these back in 2014, 2015 for $800 a piece. $800,
right?
No.
He definitely opened them.
Sold one.
You opened them?
No, I sold one to PokeRev for $2,000. Okay. And then I sold the other one for, I don't know, like it had to be like close to 10. So
that one wasn't a Lee, was it? That was the Neo box.
No, that was a different one.
Yeah, I remember that one. Anyways,
shocking.
What else do we got?
Dude. Why do we sell too
What about
early?
legendary collect? We can talk about the tops on this card. So freaking boring. It is double what it crashed to, though, right?
It's something like around there. Yeah. Who cares?
But this one is crazy.
The super yellow, super orange legendary collection Charizard. I don't know if the scan was bad or what, but this is about the same price. This is what it's been going for.
This is awesome, dude. You used to be able to buy a 10 set of this for like $15K. Now I know that's a long time ago, but like,
okay, Pepperidge Farm remembers, but I don't remember. God bless.
What do you think a 10 set of this goes for today? A full legendary collection.
How many cards? How many cards is that?
110 reverse hollow.
Average price of
who knows?
$5,000 maybe. It's $500,000. $550,000.
That would be sweet to see that. Rusty, auction one off so we can see what
yeah, Rusty, do you mind?
Can you do you mind, Rusty, auction one of these for us?
Roll the dice there. See what happens.
One of these days, man, I'm pulling out. I'm going to have it. I don't know where it's going to come from, when I'm going to get it, but I'm pulling out a reverse hollow legendary collection sheet. It's going to happen.
Dude, don't eat. John knows this is like this Ancient Mew sheet was my number one grail. But Legendary Collector Reverse Hollow is like a very close number 2. Like
that's my number one. That's my number.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people sheet would be
first edition base set hollow sheets number 1, then Legendary.
Do you think? So we just saw that base unlimited sheet up there went for over 100K, right?
106 or whatever.
106. Do you think a Legendary Collector Reverse Hollow sheet would beat it?
Yes. Yes, no question.
Interesting. All right.
I think it would easily double.
100%.
It's so crazy that we haven't seen one.
Could you imagine how cool it would look in certain lighting?
Oh my god, dude! Don't even get me started on this. Anyway, yeah, I've thought about it.
Really, don't get
way too many hours.
All right, let's keep going.
37.5 or
this was
8.
So this was kind of like there were a lot of people that said 9 sold for 60K or whatever during COVID, but most of them sold between 30 and 40. So it looks like now for this run up, 8s have pretty much got.
I'm cutting you off. I did not even see this and didn't realize this sheet.
Did it have the Ivy Pikachu on it?
Yeah.
Isn't that so cool? So for anyone out there that doesn't know,
that's cool.
The Ivy Pikachu was never supposed to have a first edition stamp.
Yeah. Promos don't have first eds.
It was a promo, and yet there are some out there that got it. And for the longest time, people didn't know how they got it. Right here is your answer. There's a first edition Ivy Pikachu on this sheet of Jungle. It's Jungle Uncommons, and the Pikachu promo's printed on there. We've seen before that they've printed promos up in the corner of other sheets, like we saw the Clefable and the Raichu are on the sheet with the, is it starter deck foils?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is sweet. This is like a real piece of history here.
I hope Rusty won this, because the 40 grand is a lot of money, but I think totally worth it for something this crazy.
Yeah.
I did not even realize that when we looked at this. So
yeah, absolutely love
congrats to whoever won this. That is epic.
Yeah, super cool sheet. That one's awesome.
I don't know how to get back now.
Look at all the sheets that we're starting to see hit these big numbers. You know, for the longest time, sheets were kind of like, whatever, you know, look at that. Chinese Unlimited.
Jesus. And it's unfaded?
32,500.
And it's unfaded, yeah. I've got Chinese Machamp sheet hanging up. Anybody want that for 30 grand? It's yours.
There you go.
Hit the DMs, folks.
So yeah, we see more of these trainers come through. We got more sealed. Base box at 32.
Base got to, in COVID, unlimited base got to like 45, I think was the high.
That seems...
So we're creeping back up.
Getting up there.
We're close.
We talked about the CGC of this one being sold for what, like 12K on Golden. So not bad there.
Yeah.
Boxes
That's a 7, by the way, at 25,000 for Charizard.
Oh, what a world!
These are starting to get to the point where I don't think we're far away from seeing low grades 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s eclipse 10.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if it'll happen in this run, but I think
this went low. This is
what is that top sun box?
This is the top sun box. So there's I think 20 packs in this thing.
Jeez.
Well, maybe not so low.
The proposal, by the way, the invitation book that we spent, let's not click it and have to blur it out and everything, but we talked a lot about this card before on last week. If you guys didn't see it, go back to last week's episode. We talked about it. It's not the actual card, it's the wedding book with a photocopy of it. 16.8K.
16
That's pretty respectable for it. That's
somebody got duped, bro. Somebody got duped.
I asked around for my contacts on this, and I do know people who have this card apparently, so I need to go see it if I ever can.
That's interesting. So I think though at 16.8K, it's pretty definitive. If that card ever comes up, almost surely a 6-digit card.
Yeah,
like,
easily. I don't think anyone would ever sell it just out of respect, it seems like, but selling the invite definitely seems doable.
So
Sean, did you win?
I did not win. I actually forgot about it, which is terrible. And here's the thing. I don't know if I would have spent 12.5K. I probably would have. Granted, I wouldn't have gotten it. I would have had to bid one higher. But I think this is a great price. Whoever won this should feel really good about this. I think this is a good example of where I don't think this card ever goes for 26K again, like what we saw happen during COVID. We've just seen too many other interesting cards like this come out. Whereas when this sold previously, this was kind of like the card if you wanted like an heir. Whereas now we've seen the Magic cards with the Pokemon fronts printed over them. We've seen the Magic fronts with the Pokemon backs on the sheet. Like there's been a lot of stuff that's come out like that to where this just doesn't have the mystique that it once had. But for us old timers that have been around for a while, this is still one of those cool pieces of history. So whoever got this, I think you're going to enjoy it. I think this is a great card. And, hopefully you can make an attempt at trying to complete the set. If you can get the Arcanine, you've already checked off the 2 hardest ones. Yeah, I know who owns it.
There's like this whole subset now of Magic Pokemon things people can go after, which is really cool. So not bad.
We talked about earlier, Alpha versus First Ed, and like the history of it was the first. This is kind of like that crossover that's really neat, where you see that intersection of Wizards bringing in Pokemon and printing that as they were printing Magic at the same time, and how these things could happen. So yeah, super cool. And then this is when we start to kind of just get into the more stuff that we see more frequently. I did think that card sheet, this one's pretty interesting to me, the test sheet, just because it just looks like a lot of color bars and then card backs. So
lame.
It's an odd sheet to want in terms of display and everything, but it's there's a lot of interesting data you could probably dissect from this, because you could still get like one of those color readers and read these color bars. So
what's that pin right there? What's that? Is that we got a sketch card? We got a sketch sheet?
No, these are probably all notes that were taken during the process. Yeah, but it
Yeah.
yeah, an interesting sheet. Not
This is
not a sheet that
this
you
is
see
just a
very often.
doodle. Yeah, Ishihara was bored and doodled.
Oh yeah. But yeah,
That's
super
funny.
interesting sheet. 10K, a little higher than what I thought it would. I
Weird.
actually thought this would be the lowest performing one of all of
Yawn,
them.
dude.
Look, it's unique. I mean, the thing is, it just seems like, I know the writing says Wizards and everything, but you could just get the same thing from a New Age sheet with the Pokemon back. And
Yeah, for me, the hardest part is
like
when I think about sheets, I think about display value, and it's just like I
yeah,
just don't know that this one's gonna have that level.
this is
Like,
for
I
like
could see a
It's
museum.
no
or something
ancient
wanting
Mew.
this.
Tell you what.
Yeah. Nah. Well, they can't all be
Yeah.
ancient Mew. Okay,
Ancient
you know.
Mews at least 12K.
At least 12.
If you've got a near mint ancient Mew sheet out there for 12K, I'm
We'll
your guy.
snap your hand off for 15.
I do want to call these ones out. There were 2 fossil sheets, and they actually ended a decent gap apart. This one went for 9,300, which seems really high to me.
It's got to be conditioned. Well, so I picked up a sheet a few months ago when they had 6 of them in the same auction, and they were all sold for like $6,000.
Yeah, but the interesting part is this one came in the original box.
Which one did? The $9,000 one?
The one that you're looking at there, the 7,500. So
See,
that's $1,600 gap.
I bought one in the original box too.
Okay.
This is cooler because someone wrote Pokemon on it. Just for whatever reason, but I've got one of these boxes with the KB Toys label and everything. I thought that was cool.
It's possible that other sheet is not a KB Toys fossil. If it's an actual production fossil, that would explain the gap. But regardless, 7,500 for a baseline fossil sheet. Great growth on those.
There was this one too.
Really
this weird proof
back sheet. Yeah, pretty interesting. But for the most part, that's the Heritage auction. A lot of the other cards, you can go to Heritage and see the end results. A lot of the other cards.
No, how do Elottie do?
Oh yeah, we did want to look at the E-Lottery Charizard.
That's all I care about.
You can't even see if it's my fossil sheet. I think is production that I have, and they cut the bottom off. You can't see if it says KB Toys or not. Elottie boy.
Look, yeah, we did talk about the clock last time. We had said around 6,000 was the last sale. It went for 5 here. Still fine, respectable sale.
I feel like Nick said he would have. He's like, oh, I wish I would have known. I would have bought that.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. 6,250. I think this is right in line with what they've been at. 6,200.
Under this Gengar web promo. That's
web
crazy.
Gengar is so tragic.
Gengar tax is nuts.